Hello, I'm Scott Bogey here with Orlando Wilson Prins ahead of his upcoming Cage Warriors 193 fight against Andrew Fisher. How are you doing today?
Doing well, man. Thanks for asking.
And how are you feeling ahead of this upcoming fight?
I'm pretty excited. A new weight class for
Yeah,
me and a really veteran, seasoned opponent with a big name in England. So
yeah.
I'm really stoked.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a new weight class. You're moving up to the lightweight division. Do you feel like this is going to be your weight class from now on, or could we see you drop back to featherweight?
Uh, it depends. In the beginning, I thought it was going to be like a one-time thing, but I actually gained a lot of weight and now it's slowly becoming impossible to cut back down to featherweight because I'm still pretty
Yeah.
heavy right now. I was doing it to avoid like having a big weight cut, and now I'm still probably going to have a big weight cut. So yeah, it remains the same.
And what do you feel like your strengths lie in this fight?
My strengths,
Yeah.
um, yeah, he's a pretty all-round guy, but he's pretty slow. I think I'm much faster, much more explosive. Um, so I think my keys to victory lay in the speed
And
and
in
not getting
your
sucked into his traps, you know.
And that kind of happened in your last fight against Ruggieri, and unfortunately, didn't go your way. But how did you feel like that fight was going?
I felt it was actually going pretty well, to be honest. I was starting to get my rhythm.
Yeah,
The first round was pretty back and forth, but I felt like okay, I could avoid all the big shots. I could get back to my feet pretty easily, and at the end of the round, I was gaining momentum, and I carried that momentum into the second, and I actually got a little bit. I thought I had him hurt because right before the knockout, I hit it with a really good elbow when he came in.
yeah,
It was a little bit difficult to see, but and I could see in his eyes. You know, sometimes when you fight, you can see somebody's posture change when you hit him with something good, and I could really see his posture change. So I was like, okay, let's like step on it, let's step on the gas a little bit, and then yeah, he hit me with a beautiful left hook counter, and just never saw it coming. And I was playing guard. Uh, I saw in the video later on, but like I was actually already out. So it was just yeah, the hook was really good.
and do you feel
But
like, and do you feel like, obviously you've moved up to this weight class. It
mhm.
is an absolute stacked weight class in terms of in Cave Warriors. Do you feel like that presents you a lot of exciting matchups?
Definitely. There are definitely a lot of exciting matchups. And I think it's also wide open, to be
Yeah,
honest. I mean, like the belt like recently just changed hands and now we have an interim champion now. Like and like I guess like the champion like he's like to contender series or something, right?
yeah. I think he's on next week's series.
Yeah, yeah. So if he wins the belt or if he wins the contract, he's probably not coming back. And maybe if he doesn't win the contract, he's not coming back either. You know, like you don't even know. And yeah, you have many guys like just on the on sorry, just on a level of like fighting for the championship, but not a real number one contender. So I think it's wide open. I think anything could happen. Like just one big performance from one of the guys, and they could fight for a championship. I think.
And you've experienced the Newcastle crowd before when you did fight Harry
Mhm.
Hardwick. Or do you feel like that experience of being able to not only just face enemy territory, but face the Newcastle territory, do you feel like that will help you in that fight?
To be honest, the territory wasn't even all that. Like it was pretty fun actually. Um, and it's not like maybe it sounds like a little bit hostile on the
Stream?
on a television, like or on stream when you see it, but like it doesn't feel like that when you're fighting. I mean, like in the end, it was just me and Harry, like and like if there was no crowd, the outcome would probably be the same. Maybe he gets energized a little bit by the crowd, a little bit extra, but like at the end of the day, it's just two men fighting, like and the crowd can't really do anything for you. And this is I think my seventh time fighting in Cage Warriors, and like every time I've been like with the exception of one fight with the Samuel Bark fight, I was like yeah, I was meant to be the spoiler, like it's coming
Yeah.
in there to lose basically. So yeah, I'm used to it now.
And you are coming into this fight. Once you get that win, what are you doing to celebrate?
Yeah, depends on how the fight goes. If it's like a 3 round war, which I expect to be honest, because like Andrew is like really difficult to finish, and I think it will be a really like drawn out fight. So probably just laying in bed resting.
Well, that sounds great. And how has the gym been going so far? I do know you are a head coach in the Root MMA.
The gym is going well. I have a bunch of fighters on the come up. I have one guy that just fought a guy from England. His name is Daishmar Coriel. He's 5-1 now with 4 finishes, 4 KOs, and yeah, he just KO'd Stefan Katakoli from Great Britain top team, like
Yeah.
in a big fight in LFL. And he's looking to make waves. He's a featherweight, he's super dangerous, like my number one training partner. And I have a bunch of amateurs on the come up as well.
And we talked about LFL briefly last time, but
Mhm.
since then, you've now had Louis Sutherland. He fought in LFL, won that title, and now gone to the UFC. I can't remember the exact name, but there was another LFL champ go from you guys over to the UFC. So it's now
Yeah,
starting to have that. You are one of the major players in Europe. Do you feel like that is the case?
yeah, I definitely think that's the case. They've been underrated a little bit, but now it like they start to see like the fruits of their labor, like,
Yeah,
and they're also like also the people that come from there are pretty legit, because they're also doing well in the
yeah,
UFC. The heavyweight guy, like I think he won 2 fights already.
yeah.
Um,
It was like a
yeah,
one night tournament.
yeah, and uh, and the other heavyweight also got signed, Mario Pinto, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's also really good, and I think Sutherland's gonna do great as well. And who was the other? It was more also to the UFC. Anyway, I think they're a really big player, and they make good fights, and the promoter seems to know what he's doing and doesn't have too much bias in it. That's also one of the things that I like when promoters don't have too much of a bias towards like, oh, like we only want to promote like English fighters or only
Yeah.
Dutch fighters, only like whatever the country is. I understand that's like a little bit part of the business model at Cage Warriors, but to me, the bias is a little bit too big towards like the English fighters, and it takes away the appeal of being a big international fight league.
And I think what's also good about the LFL is they do like to bring in their amateurs. They do have that amateur card the day before,
Hmm.
where it does show that progression where you can fight on there and then you can experience the pro scene with them as well.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. To be fair, Cage Warriors does that as well,
Yeah, and the
but
other Cage Warriors
not.
Academy.
Yeah, they have the academies, like so that's the model is great, like it was way better than when I was an amateur. Like you didn't have like all of these like feeder amateur leagues, like where you could build up, get like steady fights. So I think it's really well organized and you can only see the progression in MMA. Like some of the amateurs are already like good enough to fight pro, you know.
And as long as you come out here healthy, what are you looking for the rest of the year? Are you looking to have another fight or potentially rest up, come back at the start of the next year?
Well, it depends. I think after this fight, I'm going to be a free agent again. Um, so let's see what's out there. You know, like I'm not like looking past this fight. You know, like who knows? You know, like who knows what's going to happen? You know, like if you're going to get out healthy. You know, like in one piece. You
Yeah.
know, like if you're taking the win, if you're taking a loss. You know, everything could happen. You know, of course, I'm going in 100% to take a W, and like losing is not on my mind. But you have to take account with like I've had a lot of injuries in fights from like things I couldn't even explain, like happened in the fight, like and it got me injured. So like I'm not taking for granted like to walk away from this fight like in one piece, you know, like I'm definitely accounting for some sort of damage, you know, like, and a little bit of a longer layoff probably.
And you
But if I do get out healthy, you know, like I'm open to anything.
and I'm guessing, like you said, you're expecting to be a free agent. Is that just because of the time frame to recover, or is that would be your contract played out?
Yeah, so the contract is played out, I think like towards the end of the year. And yeah, you know, like if I'm not like I think that I need at least like 2 months to recover, you know, usually, you know,
Yeah.
like of course if you get like a 10-second knockout or like a submission real quick, um, you know, you can fight again pretty soon. But like just like thinking like worst case scenario, like probably not going to be able to fight for a little while. So the contract's going to be expired, I think.
And what do you feel like is, apart from fighting, what other hobbies do you kind of have?
What kind of hobbies do I have? I
Yeah.
have a really busy life, to be honest. Like if I'm not like training, like spending time with my family, uh, spending time at my job, my business, you know, like working.
Yeah.
Um, you know, like I run like a business, coach fighters, manage fighters. Yeah, you know, like my days are really full. I have enough to do, you know. Like the fighting thing is just a hobby, to be honest. Like that, like snowballed, and like I
Yeah.
just keep getting further. And now like I'm a little bit too far to just like just leave it, you know. Like and to be fair, I also love it. You know, like I love the competing aspect of it. You know, so I want to see like how far I can get and like how strong I am. You know, like so I keep fighting, but like it's not something that I need. It's not like some of the other fighters like they need to do this. You know, like I don't have to do this. I want to do this. You know.
And do you feel like that's what puts you apart is you're doing this just for the love of it? Like you don't have to do this, but you want to do this, so you're putting everything into it.
Yeah,
There's not
yeah,
that
yeah,
much
definitely.
pressure.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like of course I still feel pressure, you know, like because everybody feels the pressure, like you don't want to lose like on
Yeah.
television, you know, like you don't want to get embarrassed in front of your friends, you know, like everybody has the same pressure, but like there's no pressure in me to like to succeed and to become like go to the next level, except the pressure I put on myself, you know, like of course
Yeah.
I put expectation on myself. Like I have like a vision in my head of myself, you know, like where I wanted to be, like in this state of my life. And of course, you know, like sometimes like reality doesn't meet expectation, and that like creates a little bit of a pressure situation, but it's not a big deal.
And you say that you're expecting this. So I'm guessing, are you expecting a unanimous decision victory? Or what's your prediction for this fight?
My prediction for this fight, love to get a finish, you know, last like all my fights in Newcastle were finished. And like one time was on the receiving end, obviously, but the other time was on on the winning side, and I would sign up for that for sure.
And I know you'll be able to do great things in Newcastle and get the tune off the feet. Now, how is the coaching aspect being for you? 'Cause like you did touched on it before, you have got that guy who's 5-1, it just beat Stefan. How great is it to be able to teach these people, see them grow up, and not only that, but they come to you asking you for this technique, so you have to go over and learn a bit more about that. How has that been for your game?
Yeah, I've always been a coach before I started my MMA career, so I always had like a little bit more of a technical approach to it. And like by teaching technique, you start to understand technique much better. And I teach all of my guys uh, how they can teach other people as well. So I'm not just teaching them techniques like, okay, place your hand here, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. I teach them to understand. And so they can relay a message to somebody else, to another student. And because of this, the club has like a really good level, especially the jiu-jitsu aspect. And we're starting to get like build more and more layers in the other aspects as well. Obviously, we're a new club, you know, like relatively. Like
Yeah,
if you look at some of the clubs in England, they've been around for like I don't know, like 20 years, or I don't know. For example, Andrew's a coach as well, right? Like he
yeah,
has his own club as well. Like I think he's been around a lot longer than me, you know, like you can see that in the guys he has, you know, like he already has guys at the UFC level on like higher up at the Cage Warriors level, blah blah. And we're still like I'm still like developing the amateurs and I have like a few guys in the pros, so you know, we're getting there, you
yeah.
know.
And it's a fight that you definitely do not want to miss. Make sure you check out Orlando on September the 13th. It's going to be a great fight and it's a definite event to watch out for. Is there anything you'd like to add or anyone you want to shout out?
Just shout out my team, my coaches, and like everybody that still supports me. I know I lost 2 fights in a row, but we're still going on strong and hopefully get a W.
And we can't wait to see you get a win. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.